NAIA National Championship second round play tonight at the DeWitt Gym. The Dordt Defenders taking on the Spring Arbor Cougars, and for the right to move on to the NAIA National Championship in the round of 16, the Dordt Defenders facing a Spring Arbor team that was a 3-point winner over Langston last night, while the Dordt Defenders were victorious by 10 over Oakland City. And setting up this matchup here this evening, there are 16 games taking place across the country here this evening. The 16 winners advance on to play in Sioux City beginning next Thursday in the round of 16. And the national championship will be decided on the following Tuesday. We are getting down to it. Dordt versus Spring Arbor in the second round of the NAIA National Championship from the DeWitt Gym. Let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with a look at how these teams arrived at this point and a thumbnail sketch of both teams. Right after this, you're listening to Dordt Basketball on KIHK and watching NAIA National Championship Basketball on the Dordt Media Network. Back with more in 2 minutes.
You don't just want to pick a college because you think it's just going to be comfortable. But you also have to be in a place that there are people that are going to surround you and love you and be on the same page. If you can find that place that stands out and they stand for something and they stand behind that something, you know, that's what we fell in love with Dordt University, and we're just so thankful that our kids have seen that.
Find a place that honors God and inspires your kid. And I think Dordt does both of those things.
This live stream broadcast brought to you by Napa Auto Parts in Sioux Center, your source for quality automotive parts for your car or truck. Let them use their knowledge to help you find the right vehicle battery, brakes, filters, headlights, wipers, and other parts needed to get your job done. Napa Auto Parts in Sioux Center.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University. Thanks for watching.
Special thanks to all our Dordt Media Network sponsors: Volink Enterprises Incorporated, building homes for families and businesses in Northwest Iowa since 1962. Let's work together to bring your vision into reality. Volink Enterprises Incorporated. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Van Engelenhoven Agency, your trusted independent insurance agency throughout Northwest Iowa. Contact the Van Engelenhoven Agency's Sioux Center advisors Mark Holsoff or Lisa Dykstra.
Let's take a closer look at these two teams. First of all, Spring Arbor, they come in with a 24-7 record. They finished third in the Crossroads League final standings behind Indiana Wesleyan and Marion, a couple of highly regarded teams. Earlier today, Indiana Wesleyan, an 84-42 winner over Northwestern. Indiana Wesleyan finished second to Marion in the conference. Spring Arbor hung with Marion. Marion's only loss this year is to GPAC member Concordia. 3 of Spring Arbor's losses are to Indiana Wesleyan. Spring Arbor lost to Indiana Wesleyan on March 1 in the league semifinals, 80-67. They're 13-5 now in the calendar year 2024. Spring Arbor averages 77 points per game. They allow 65. They convert 45% of their shots. Opponents make 40% against them. They out-rebound teams 41-35. Convert 6 3-pointers per game to opponents 5.5. 3-point percentage 34 for Spring Arbor, 30 for opponents. And turnovers per game, Spring Arbor 16, opponents commit 19. Key players for Spring Arbor and the Cougars: Alana Nelson, 18.4 points per game. Alize Tripp, 17.7 points per game. Alex Long, 12.3 points per contest. Nelson is also the leading rebounder for Spring Arbor at 8.6 rebounds per game. She converts nearly 50% of her field goals. For the Dordt Defenders, they got to this point with a 30-2 mark. They won the Great Plains Athletic Conference regular season championship, and they also won the postseason tournament. Dordt started the year with 12 wins in a row before losing to South Dakota State back on December the 12th. That was their first regular season loss. They then won 14 games in a row before losing to Northwestern in the regular season finale in Orange City, 81-63. 5 of Dordt's wins are by single digits. Closest games, a pair of 3-point wins over Northwestern and Concordia. Since the loss to Northwestern, Dordt has won 4 games in a row. Then they have done it while navigating some injuries on their team. Hayden Hymanson was lost to an injury early in February in a win over Morningside. And then in the first round of the Great Plains Athletic Conference postseason tournament, they lost Gracie Schoenhoven, their leading scorer, coming off of the bench. In 18 minutes of play, she was averaging between 12 and 13 points per contest. She was lost to an injury that night as well, so the defenders have had to reshape and reform themselves as this season has gone along, especially in the last 4 weeks or so. The numbers for Dordt, 84-62. They outscore teams. They out-rebound teams, 45-32. They convert 47% of their field goals, while opponents make 37%. They also convert 6.7 three-pointers per game. Opponents are making 5.5. Three-point percentages, Dordt 33, opponents 29. And turnovers per game, Dordt 14, opponents 17. Carly Gustafson leads the team with a 12.4 points per game average now. She also grabs 7 rebounds per game. She's making about 55% of her field goals. Bailey Backman is at 12.1 points per game. She has made 47 three-pointers this season. She is converting 30% of her three-point shots this year. Macy Sievers is averaging 11.8 points per game to go along with 6.6 assists and 6.2 rebounds. And Janie Schoenhoven averaging nearly a double-double. She's at 10.8 points per game and just over 8 rebounds per contest. Also for the defenders, Faith Van Hollen is averaging 5.7 points per game. Macy Nielsen is at 3.7. Eliana Caparas has given the defenders a lift as of late, 3.3 points per game. Liv Harrison, a backup guard, is averaging 3.2 points per contest. We've also seen a little bit of Taylor Drent for the defenders over the past several games. Dordt and Spring Arbor for the right to move on to Sioux City. They'll play next Friday. The winner advances on to play Mayville State next Friday night at 6 o'clock in the round of 16 at the NAIA National Championship final site. Let's take a 1-minute break. Let's make this a 1-minute break, and we'll be back with a look at starting lineups. Right after this, you're listening to and watching the Dordt Media Network and KIHK NAIA National Championship second round play. Back with more right after this 1-minute timeout.
Thanks to these Dordt Media Network sponsors, Ski Bout Window and Door, your local window experts. Whether building or replacing, we have the products, people, and knowledge to get the job done right. See Ski Bout and see the difference. Ski Bout Window and Door.
Thanks to M&H True Value. Behind every project is a true value. Start right, start here. M&H True Value.
Play golf and support Defender Athletics by joining the Defender Nation Golf League this summer. The Defender Nation Golf League is an 8-week remote league that you can play in from anywhere in the country. Compete from your home course against other alumni and Dordt supporters for a $3,000 vacation package and other weekly prizes. Registration is due by May 27th and league play begins the week of June 3rd through the 9th. Scan the QR code or go to godort.com for more information and to register. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for tonight's contest on the Wireless World pregame show. First of all, for Spring Arbor and John Williams. Spring Arbor, a winner last night over Langston by a final of 81-78. Spring Arbor led in that contest by Alana Nelson, that is, with 28 points. Alex Long had 23 and Eliza Tripp had 19. They'll start this lineup. Number 4, Abby Fleetwood, a 5'9 freshman from Trafalgar, Indiana, averaging 6.4 points per game. Eliza Tripp is a 5'5 senior from Michigan Center, Michigan, averaging 17.8 points per game. Number 14 is Alex Long. She's a 5'6 junior from Flushing, Michigan, averaging 12.7 points per game. She left the game late yesterday with a cramp in her leg. We will see if she's able to play effectively here this evening and if that will take any sort of toll on her. She had a fantastic game last night with 24 points. Elena Kaliza is a 5'11 sophomore from West Chicago, Illinois. Easy for me to say. 3.9 points per game. She wears number 22. And Alana Nelson is number 54. She's a 6-foot senior from Springport, Michigan, averaging 18.7 points per game. For the Dordt defenders, they will go with Macy Sievers, a 5'8 sophomore from Storm Lake, Iowa, averaging 11.8 points per game. She scored 8 last night. Bailey Mackman, number 13, is a 5'5 senior from Panora, Iowa, averaging 12.1 points per game. She scored 11 last evening. Carly Gustafson, a season-high 29 last night. She's a 5'11 graduate student from Ethan, South Dakota, averaging 12.4 points per game. Number 32 is Faith Van Hollen, a 5'8 senior from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, averaging 5.7 points per game. And Janie Schoenhoven is a 5'10 junior from Hospers, Iowa, averaging 10.8 points per game. She had a double-double last night with 12 points and 12 rebounds. We are just about set for our national anthem and some other pre-game announcements. Let's take another 2-minute break, and we'll be back with the opening tip for tonight's contest, Dordt versus Spring Arbor, coming up in 2 minutes.
Today's broadcast brought to you by Beaver Eye Care, serving Sioux Center and the surrounding communities for over 30 years. Come see Dr. Paul Beaver, Dr. Dan Klausing, or Dr. Reese Beaver for all your comprehensive eye care needs. This broadcast also brought to you by Vision Realty. We are polished, experienced, and professional, offering excellence every step of the way. We are the vision you can trust.
Welcome to Sioux Center, Iowa. Life in the center of everything. Where we connect with friends, coworkers, family, and the great outdoors. Knowing that in Sioux Center, you're never far from making the next great memory. And we grow great companies that make cutting-edge breakthroughs to make life better here and around the world. And when it's time to play, we keep friendship, family, and a bright future at the center of everything.
This Dordt Media Network broadcast is brought to you by Sioux Concrete Construction, Rob Suin, owner, excelling in flat work, poured walls, decorative concrete projects, dedicated to providing customers with a good experience and quality workmanship. SiouxConcrete.com.
And brought to you by Huber's Plumbing and Heating. Whether you're looking for repairs, replacement, or maintenance for your air conditioning or heating system, Huber's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning in Orange City will exceed your expectations.
This Dordt Media Network student-produced live stream broadcast is brought to you by Joyner & Zwart Dentistry in Orange City, offering dentures, implants, and dental care for your whole family in a modern and friendly atmosphere. And brought to you by 712 Realty, a team of realtors in Northwest Iowa with the drive, care, and the results you need to buy or sell your home. Visit them online at 712realty.com. Leading you home.
Welcome back to the NAIA National Championship second round game being played at the DeWitt Gym here in Sioux Center, Iowa. And there are some results beginning to trickle in from across the country. So some teams already having determined their spot in Sioux City and Kansas City for the men. In women's basketball earlier today, Briar Cliff a winner over Vanguard, 69-68. Briar Cliff advances on to Sioux City. Cumberland's defeats Bryan, 86-65. Briar Cliff coming back home to Sioux City. Indiana Wesleyan doubles up on Northwestern, 84-42. It was Mayville State over LSU Shreveport earlier today, 86-65. Mayville State will await the opponent, the winner of this contest, next Friday at 6 p.m. Campbellsville, a winner over William Carey, 82-73. That was in women's play. In men's basketball, Morningside earns a spot in Kansas City, 61-59. Madonna over Shawnee State, 81-78. Freed Hardman over Point Park, 84-67. Grace thumps Union, 106-61. Indiana Wesleyan, a 92-81 winner over Tennessee Southern. We are just about set for basketball. Dordt versus Spring Arbor. Spring Arbor in their blue jerseys, their navy blues with the gold numbers trimmed in white. And they've got SAU across the front. And I'll be honest, last night I struggled. My trigger point there is St. Ambrose University. A little bit more familiar with that university, but made the adjustment. Spring Arbor and the Cougars. For the Dordt defenders, they're in their gold jerseys, white numbers trimmed in black. And a nice-sized crowd on hand for tonight's contest here at the DeWitt Gym as well. Good atmosphere for the NAIA National Championship second round, and we are just about set for basketball. Schoenhoven to jump it up against Alana Nelson. And we are underway. Opening tap controlled by the defenders. And here we go. NAIA National Championship second round play with a berth in Sioux City on the line. With the basketball, right-hand side is Sievers. Gets around her player, lays it up with the right hand, and she's fouled. She'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. Macy Sievers. Sievers able to get a step that time, and the foul goes on Alana Kaliza. That's Elena Kaliza, beg your pardon. So Macy Sievers to shoot a pair of free throws. The sophomore point guard from Storm Lake, Iowa. She is converting 81% of her free throws, makes the first one, and she's got another one on the way. Dordt on the board first, 1-0, pending a second free throw. That one is up and straight through as well, and the defenders lead it 2-0. 2-0 our score. Bringing the basketball up is Abby Fleetwood. Fleetwood with it. She passes left side. This is Long. Long with it on the wing. Long comes back out front to Tripp. Tripp with the basketball. Fleetwood. Fleetwood Nelson. Dordt got hung up on a pick. Shot no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds. Last touch by by Spring Arbor. Knew I was going to do it. Spring Arbor touches it last. Out of bounds. Last touch by the Cougars. It'll be Dordt basketball. Going to have to write that in big block letters. Spring Arbor. Pass comes over the top to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven with it. Ball swiped away from behind. Ball's down on the floor and a turnover by the defenders. Here comes Spring Arbor. Ball tapped away. Taken back by Sievers. Sievers with it. Sievers kicks it around at midcourt. Picks it back up. Hands it back over to Carly Gustafson. Nerves a little bit of an issue early on. Faith Van Holland, a 3, no good. Rebound tipped out and controlled by Kaliza. Kaliza with the basketball as she gets it away. Right-hand side, this is Long. Long comes back over to Nelson. Nelson wheels her way into the lane with the right hand, ties it up. Alana Nelson with the 2-point bucket as she gets a lane to the basket. Comes away with the right-handed shot. With it, Beckman. Right side it comes. Back over to Sievers. Sievers 3, splash. 3-point basket for Macy Sievers. She has 5. And the defenders lead 5-2. Spring Arbor basketball, and the Cougars will bring it up. Abby Fleetwood takes it across the half-court stripe. She passes over to Alex Long. Long on the left-hand side, Kaliza. Kaliza back over to Fleetwood. Fleetwood loses her footing, and Carly Gustafson is going to be called for a personal foul on the reach-in as she tried to knock the ball away. And 1 foul apiece on each team so far. Throwing the ball in, right side of the lane is Abby Fleetwood. Fleetwood to trigger it in. The freshman guard comes over to Kaliza. They'll attack Gustafson. Kaliza picks up her dribble. Comes back right side Nelson. Nelson spins back to Kaliza. Kaliza in the paint. Off of the rim, no good. And the rebound taken away by Schoenhoven. Ahead to Sievers. Sievers with it on the right-hand side. Sievers all the way up the floor on the left elbow. Looking for the cutter underneath Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven has it blocked away out of bounds by Fleetwood. Nice recovery that time by Fleetwood as Schoenhoven got the ball down low. And the Dordt defenders with a 5-2 advantage, inbounding left side of the lane as we face the hoop. Throwing it in is Sievers, gets it into Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Beckman to a posting up Carly Gustafson. Gustafson dribbles onto the baseline, drew some contact, and ends up dribbling it out of bounds. Last touched. And the Dordt defenders with a 5-2 advantage turn it over. 5-2 our score. Coming back the other way, Fleetwood picks up her dribble. Pass out front, 3 missed, no good by Alex Long. Rebound defenders, here comes Sievers. Sievers into the front court, 7:30 left to play in the first period. Dordt with the lead, 5-2. Pass goes down low and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Dordt, and a little bit of jitters it seems for both teams. Dort's turned it over now three times early on, and Spring Arbor has the basketball. Spring Arbor bringing it up. This is Fleetwood again. Fleetwood with it. Comes out front to Nelson. Nelson back to Long. Alex Long coming off that 24-point performance last night. Nelson with it. Dordt doubles her for a moment. Now she spins back, scoops it up with the left hand and gets it to go. She's pretty nifty around the hoop as Alana Nelson. Dordt leads 5-4 with the basketball. Sievers comes back over to Beckman. Beckman with the right hand, missed it, no good. Got a good look at it, misses it short. And the rebound taken away. Here comes Spring Arbor and Kaliza. Kaliza outside Long. Long with the basketball. Long with it out front. She's going to put up a three and missed it short, no good. Rebound taken away by Sievers. Here comes Dordt in transition. Macy with the basketball on the left elbow. Picks up her dribble. Looking down low. Instead comes over to Beckman. Beckman drives baseline. Puts it up. Shot no good. Rebound controlled. And here comes Spring Arbor. Spring Arbor with the basketball. Fleetwood. Fleetwood across the half-court stripe. She's going to drive left side. Now picks it back up. She scored a point last night, averaging 6.4 points per game. With it into the lane is Long. Long comes back out front. Tripp with the basketball back to Fleetwood. Fleetwood step back triple on the way, off the mark, no good. Ball goes long out. It's picked up by Kaliza, and a fresh 20 for the Cougars. Comes back to Nelson. Nelson three, missed, no good. Rebound taken away by Sievers. Looks like both teams feeling the effects of very physical, tiring games last night. Pass into the lane, and Dordt is trying to press it just a little bit too much, it appears. Spring Arbor has not been able to take advantage of that much up to this point. Dordt with 4 turnovers through a little over 4 minutes of play. Dordt showing pressuring defense. We'll see if that has any effect on this Spring Arbor team. They were able to get through Langston's pressure last night. Pass into the lane. Looks like they've worked on it. Into the paint is Long. Long shot up on the rim. Good. Alex Long with a 2-point basket. It's 6-5. Dordt basketball. Sievers in the backcourt. Pass across. With it is... Well, pass comes left side. That was Drent with it. Drent back over to Sievers. Dordt down a point. Pass right side Harrison. Harrison three on the way. Left it short, no good. And the rebound is cleared by Fleetwood. Fleetwood with the basketball. She goes left side Tripp. Tripp into the lane. Tripp with the right hand. Scoops it up. Good. Eliza Tripp with a 2-point basket. And now St. Ambrose taking advantage of some the Dordt misses and some turnovers. And they have turned a 3-point deficit into a 3-point advantage at 8-5. We're past the midpoint of the first quarter already. Harrison with it. Harrison back over to Nielsen. Nielsen steps beyond the 3-point line, comes back over to Drent. Drent puts it on the deck. Drent drives in, and she is fouled on the play. Foul's going to go on Anons. That's number 1 on her. And we're going to have a timeout on the floor. This will be an official's timeout past the 5-minute mark. 8-5 our score. Spring Arbor with the lead. And officials timeout. We'll be back with more from the DeWitt in 1 minute.
When you add up all the Wi-Fi connected devices in your home these days, you'll be surprised at how many there are and how much bandwidth they're using. Do the math. It just may add up to needing faster Wi-Fi. Premier Communications has you covered with reliable internet speeds up to 1 gig. Keep everything connected with Premier Communications. Visit us online at mypremieronline.com or call at 1-800-741-8351. Premier Communications. Looking ahead.
This broadcast also brought to you by Vision Realty. We are polished, experienced, and professional, offering excellence every step of the way. We are the vision you can trust.
And brought to you by Pizza Ranch, buffet, carry out, or delivery.
And brought to you by Ployne Publishing, quality printing from design to delivery. Ployne Publishing.
For the defender, she is a 60% free throw shooter. Hasn't shot a lot of them this season. She is a 60% free throw shooter. Split her time between the junior varsity and varsity teams this season. One of those players who just simply needed to get some reps, and there wasn't a lot of room in front of her for much of the season. So she played some junior varsity, knocks the first one down. Another one on the way for Drent. That one's up and through as well. She got 4 important points last night. She checks out of the ball game with Dordt trailing 8-7. It'll be Spring Arbor basketball, so Dordt back into their half-court defense. Out front with the basketball is Fleetwood. Spring Arbor with a 1-point lead. They go out front to Onens. Onens to Fleetwood. Fleetwood looking down low. They give it to Nelson. Alana Nelson against Janie Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven holding her ground. Here comes Onens. Onens scoops it up with the left hand, and we've got 2 fouls on Carly Gustafson. They took Carly off of the dribble, and she commits the personal foul. Eight to 7 our score. And shooting free throws will be Sydney Onens. First one is good, so Dort's going to have to go a little while without Carly Gustafson. Second free throw by Onens is up and good. She's got 2, and the defenders trail 10-7, and their leading scorer available to them is on the bench with 2 personal fouls. With the basketball is Beckman. Beckman tripped up at midcourt. And here comes Spring Arbor. Spring Arbor with the basketball. Yet another turnover by the defenders. A little uncharacteristic up to this point. Missed shot by Eliza Tripp. Here comes Dordt in transition. Left side it goes Van Holland. Van Holland with the basketball. She goes high post. Caparis. Right side Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Dordt down 10-7. High post pass. Schoenhoven dumps it underneath. Caparis lost it. Picks it up. Gets it back over to Van Holland. 3. Good. Faith Van Holland with the 3, and we are tied 10-10. 10-10 our score. Sounds like we have some problems with the Dordt Media Network production, so right now operating without graphics. Pass goes down low. Nelson holding her ground is Schoenhoven, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Spring Arbor. It'll be Dordt basketball. Schoenhoven played it straight up. Nelson tried to draw the foul, and that time the officials did not call it that way. Schoenhoven just tried to hold her ground, and Nelson thought she had done enough to draw a personal. Caparis with it over to Sievers. Sievers brings it up. Sievers across the half-court stripe. We're tied 10-10. 10-10 the score. Sievers with it on the left-hand side. Drives, puts it up with the right hand. From the left side, good. Macy Sievers with 7 early points. Dordt leads 12-10. 12-10 our score. Pass comes left side out front to Nelson. Nelson with the basketball. Alana Nelson comes back right side. Tripp, floater in the lane. Nifty move, and she ties it up. Alize Tripp ties it at 12-12. With the basketball, Nielsen. Nielsen back to Caparis. Right side, Sievers. Sievers with the basketball, splitting the defense. Bounces it underneath for Schoenhoven. Back outside, Van Holland. Van Holland with it. Throws it back on the perimeter to Sievers. Sievers with it, 2:28 left to play in the first period. Pass goes down low. Schoenhoven squares up against Nelson, and she is held on the play. Question is, who will it go against? Is it Nelson or is it, and that's going to be on number 15, Sydney Onens. That's her second. Now, she is a reserve player, so she is the second player to pick up the second foul here today, 1 for each team. Onens yesterday dealt with foul issues as well. She and Elena Kaliza basically split the minutes at that position. First free throw up and good for Janie Schoenhoven. Second free throw on the way for Schoenhoven. And this one's up and good as well. So Janie makes them both, and the defenders reestablish a 2-point lead, 14-12. On the early going, both teams with some challenges. Dordt on the turnovers. Spring Arbor shooting 42%. They've gotten 4 more shots, though, from the field than the defenders thus far. Pass goes right corner, goes back to Nelson. Nelson gives it up. Shot high off of the window is good on the drive. That is Semeska. Semeska with a 2-point basket. And we're tied at 14 all. Right side with it, Sievers. Sievers with it on the wing. Comes back over to Drent. Left side to Bleeker. Willow Bleeker with it out front. Goes to Caparis. Right side, Beckman. Beckman into the corner. Sievers, and we've got a 3 seconds in the lane violation called against the defenders, and that's going to go on Drent. So Drent whistled for the 3 seconds in the lane violation. Schoenhoven checks in, and checking out of the contest was Caparis. Comes back out front with the basketball is Tripp. Alize Tripp. They throw it into the post to Nelson, guarded there by Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven plays her. Shot is off of the window, no good. Rebound, though, taken away by Kaliza. Kaliza's shot high off of the glass, no good. Rebound taken away by Willow Bleeker. Bleeker ahead to Sievers. 1:15 left to go here in the first quarter. Cross-court pass. Bleeker sizes it up. Three-pointer, missed it short, no good. And the defenders so far 2 for 5 from the three-point arc. Here comes Spring Arbor with the basketball. Tripp tries to go downhill, spins into the lane, lost it. Ball's down on the floor. Jump ball, alternating possession. It'll be Spring Arbor basketball with 57.4 seconds remaining in the period. We're tied 14-14. Tripp is out, Long is in. Throwing the ball in right side of the lane will be Fleetwood, I believe. Fleetwood, right side of the lane. Fleetwood looking, passes it out, Semeska. Semeska gives it up, Kaliza. Kaliza back over to Fleetwood. Fleetwood runs through a screen, gives it up, Kaliza. Kaliza's pass deflected, three-pointer, right side, no good, misses everything. Rebound cleared. And driving in, and it's swiped away by Beckman. Ball's on the floor, picked up by the defenders. Here comes Sievers. Sievers for the basketball. Hair on fire, and she is fouled on the play. Sievers puts on the Jets and gets fouled on the back end of that play. Alana Nelson called for the personal foul. That's foul number 1 on her. And with 29.2 seconds remaining in the period, Sievers will go to the free throw line for 2 free throws, a chance to unlock the tie. First one is up and good. Another one on the way. 15-14. Second free throw, Dordt trying to extend the lead, and Sievers rattles that one down. She's got 9, and the defenders lead 16-14. (16-14) defenders leading by 2. Dordt showing a half-court trap here. That's something a little bit different than we're accustomed to. Pass goes middle of the lane. Three-pointer by Fleetwood. Shot no good. Rebound cripped down by Drent, and Drent is run over by Kaliza on the rebound. So Kaliza just got the momentum going the wrong way, it looked like, and Dordt will be shooting 2 free throws with Taylor Drent. Kaliza, an interesting story for Dordt fans. You may remember a men's volleyball player named Caleb Kaliza. He was a standout for the defenders. First free throw no good by Drent. Another one on the way, trying to make it a 3-point lead. Caleb is the older brother of Elena. Elena playing for Spring Arbor. Second free throw is up and through for Drent. She is 3 for 4. Dordt leads 17-14. Defenders looking for a stop. With the basketball is Nelson. Nelson into the paint, and Nelson is fouled on the play before the shot with 5.8 seconds remaining. Eliana Caparis commits the personal foul. That's foul number 1 on her. And St. Ambrose will inbound. Dordt with one more foul to give here in the period. Pass comes into Nelson. Nelson's pass deflected. Comes back to Nelson. Nelson down to the baseline. Puts it up under pressure. Shot no good. And the defenders take a 3-point lead at the end of the first period. Dordt 17, Spring Arbor 14. Back with the second period of play from the NAIA National Championship second round right after this 1-minute timeout.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
And brought to you by Pizza Ranch, buffet, carry out, or delivery.
Joyner and Zvort Dentistry, providing the latest in dental technology in a warm, comfortable, and relaxing environment. And brought to you by Ployne Publishing, quality printing from design to delivery. Ployne Publishing.
17-14, Dordt with a 3-point lead. Again, our apologies for those of you watching online. The graphics, took a vacation on us, so we will do our best to give you time and score as much as possible. Dordt with the basketball after the quarter break. Carly Gustafson checks back into the ballgame. She's playing with 2 personals. Right side it goes back over to Beckman. Beckman floats it up from the elbow. Cash. 2-point basket for Bailey Beckman. And the Dordt defenders lead 19-14. 19-14, Dordt with a 2-possession lead. First time tonight. Spring Arbor with the basketball. Kaliza goes high post. Nelson with the basketball. Nelson at the top of the key goes back to Fleetwood. Fleetwood left side. They go into the corner. Long back to Kaliza. Kaliza trying to work against Gustafson. Shot no good. Rebound Carly. Carly with the basketball gives it up to Macy. Macy Sievers with it. And Sievers all the way to the left elbow. Feeds the trailer Gustafson. Gustafson puts it up and a charging foul called on Carly Gustafson. That's going to be foul number 3 on her. So Gustafson called for the charge, and you saw it immediately at the beginning of the period. Spring Arbor went right to Elena Kaliza to try and draw a foul on Gustafson, and then they were able to get down, establish position underneath the basket, and got the foul call on the charge against Gustafson. So Gustafson's going to sit for a while. She's got 3 fouls, 8:50 left to play here in the half. Stolen away by Beckman. Here comes Dordt. Beckman hesitates, drives in, scoops it up. Shot no good. Rebound taken away by Sievers. Sievers to Van Hollen. Caparis right-hand side. Beckman tries to throw it into the post to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven unable to reel it in. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Dordt defenders. It will be Spring Arbor basketball. So Spring Arbor gets the basketball back. Turnovers have been an issue for the defenders so far tonight. And now it looks like we had a delay in the start of the clock, so they're going to whistle it dead. They'll bring the clock down probably 3 seconds or so. And we'll pick it up. And great work by the Dordt Media Network student crew getting our graphics back up and running. Great job, guys. Spring Arbor basketball. They'll throw it in. So Spring Arbor throwing the ball in on the far sideline in front of the defender bench. And now they're going to, I think we're set to go now. 8:26 left to go in the half. 26 seconds on the shot clock. And the pass goes into the corner to Kaliza. Dordt with a 5-point lead. Spring Arbor with the basketball. Kaliza lost it. Picks it up now. Comes back out front with the basketball. This is Visman. We didn't see much of Visman last night. Back to Kaliza. Kaliza dumps it underneath Fleetwood. Fleetwood 2-point basket good. Abby Fleetwood with a 2-point bucket, and the Dordt defenders lead 19-16. Sievers up the sideline. Beckman back over to Sievers. Dordt with it out front. Elbow. Caparis back to Van Hollen. Now Sievers on the left side. Sievers with it. Cross-court pass. Beckman gets into the drive. Puts it up with the right hand. Good. Bailey Beckman with 4. She had 10 last night. The defenders lead 21-16. Let's see what Dordt can do here with Gustafson on the bench, or can Spring Arbor make some hay here? Nelson guarded right now by Caparis. They go to Kaliza, and Kaliza nearly lost it. Caparis spins back to the middle, nothing there. Back right side to Long, putting it up, blocked away by Van Holland. It will be Spring Arbor basketball. 7:19 left to play in the first half. Well, Taylor Drent checks into the game for Jeannie Schoenhoven. Macy Nielsen checks in for Bailey Beckman. Dordt is trying to mix and match and survive a first half with their leading scorer on the bench with 3 personals. Pass comes in over the top. Onens to Fleetwood. Fleetwood gives it up. Shot no good. Fight for the basketball. It's picked up by Nelson. Nelson down to the baseline. Nelson underneath, and she steps on the end line out of bounds. Now I'm going to show my age here. Every time I'm saying Fleetwood, I want to say Mick Fleetwood, but Abby Fleetwood. For those of you fans of 70s and 80s music can understand my problem. Inbounding the basketball is Sievers. Sievers with it. Sievers gets it ahead. Left side to Nielsen, back to Drent. Drent back to Sievers. Sievers across the timeline. Dordt by 5. Will it be 8? Van Hollen 3. Yes. Faith Van Hollen with her second 3, and the defenders extend the lead to 8, 24-16. Coming up the floor with the basketball is Fleetwood. Fleetwood comes back right side. Anons. Anons with it, picks up her dribble. She goes back out front to Long. Long over the basketball. It's down on the floor, picked up by Nelson. 15 to shoot for the Cougars. With it on the right-hand side, they throw it down low. This is Nelson. They bring a double team. She kicks out of it, gets it over to Visman. 6 to shoot. Visman back out front. Anons. Anons driving in. Kaparis blocks it away, and a foul on the play called on Eliana Kaparis. And Coach Bill Harmson will ask for an explanation on the call. And 2 free throws on the way for Sydney Anons. Anons is a 51% free throw shooter, and she is 2 for 2 tonight. Dordt leading 24-16. First free throw by Anons is up and good. So Anons, so far, her free throws have been true. And Dordt leads 24-17. Another free throw on the way for the 5'10 junior from Millen, Michigan. Shot no good off of the missed free throw. Nielsen with it in the backcourt. Gets it across the timeline to Kaparis. Left side Bleeker. Bleeker 3, too strong, no good. Drent chases it down on the baseline. Drent back out front. Nielsen. Dordt leading 24-17. Nielsen out front, comes back right side. They throw it into Kaparis. Baseline jumper, missed it, no good. And the rebound is taken away by Nelson. Nelson up the floor. Nelson with the right hand from the left side, no good. Kaparis latches onto the rebound. Here comes Dordt. Into the front court. Left side, Nielsen. Nielsen, 3, too strong, no good. Rebound tapped, and now we've got a jump ball called. Alternating possession. It'll be Dordt basketball. Beg your pardon, it'll be Spring Arbor basketball. So Spring Arbor on the possession. Janie Schoenhoven is back in. Eliana Kaparis checks out. Today's game day sponsors for the opening round: Four Brothers Bar and Grill, Econo Lodge, and Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Sioux Center. Spring Arbor basketball, Visman. Visman at the top of the key goes to Anons. Anons with the basketball. Anons looking right side. They throw it into Nelson, guarded there by Schoenhoven. Throws it out of the double team. Anons down to the baseline, cut off there by Drent. Ball deflected out. Nelson picks it up. Her 3, too strong, no good. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Spring Arbor. It'll be Dordt basketball. And as the student section gets into it for the Dordt defenders, we want to also thank American State Bank and American Investment and Trust for helping Dordt University students cheer on the Defender women's basketball team. They paid the admission charge for those students here last night and again tonight. Bailey Beckman with the basketball. Nobody stops her. Drives in. Scoops it up with the right hand. Good. Bailey Beckman going downhill. We talk about that so often, and she was able to get into the paint. Scoops it up with the right hand, and the defender lead is 9, 26-17. With the basketball, they come back to Nelson. Nelson spins into the paint, and her shot up on the rim. Good. Count the hoop, and she is fouled, and Alana Nelson will go to the free throw line for a 3-point play opportunity. That's going to be foul number 1 on Schoenhoven. Dordt's already dealing with foul trouble with with Carly Gustafson on the bench with 3 first-half fouls. She has played a grand total of 6 minutes thus far. We have a timeout on the floor. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. We'll be back with a free throw for Alana Nelson when we're back in 1 minute.
American State Bank is celebrating our 50th anniversary, and we couldn't have made it this far without your support. For us, banking just scratches the surface. We pride ourselves in our commitment to our communities, building meaningful relationships with our customers, and doing our best to have some fun along the way. We're proud to be a locally owned and operated bank, supporting the communities we serve. Thank you for choosing American State Bank. We can't wait to see what the next 50 years have in store.
Today's broadcast brought to you by the Grain House in Hull. They have amazing coffee, energy drinks, breakfast, lunch, and more. With a big city feel, located only 10 minutes away in Sioux Center, they have a second location opening next year in Sanborn. Today's broadcast brought to you by Snyder Insurance and Financial Group of Sioux Center, offering life, health, Medicare supplements, annuities, and more. Trusted service and exceptional products with you in mind since 1973. Welcome back to the DeWitt Gym, where the Dordt defenders own a 26-19 lead, but Alana Nelson is shooting a free throw to try and complete an old-fashioned three-point play. And the free throw on the way for Nelson as she completely knocks it through. She's got 7. And the defender lead is 26-20. Sievers with it in the backcourt. Gets it away to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven to Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Throws it into the corner. Van Hollen, 3. Missed it. No good. Rebound ripped down by Schoenhoven. Back out front, Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Downhill. Puts it up off the glass. Can't get it to go. Rebound tapped out and controlled by Long. Long with the basketball. And Long loses it out of bounds. Last touch by Dordt, though. It'll be Spring Arbor basketball. Spring Arbor thus far 8 of 25 from the floor, 0 of 6 on threes. They have 5 turnovers. Dordt has 8 turnovers. I believe they had 6 at the quarter break. Dordt with a 16-13 rebounding edge. Spring Arbor with it, though, a chance to cut into the 6-point lead at 26-20. Pass out front, Long. Long left side, Tripp. Tripp with it on the wing, well out on the arc. She passes into Nelson. Nelson comes back outside. Fleetwood, long 3, bangs it hard off the glass. Rebound taken away by the defenders. Here comes Sievers. Sievers with the basketball, stops, Euro step, puts it up with the right hand, missed it, no good, and the rebound is controlled by the Spring Arbor Cougars. Cougars with it in the backcourt. Dordt trying to save it in, and Eliana Caparis knocks it away. 25 seconds on the shot clock, 3:46 on the game clock. Dordt leading 26-20. Spring Arbor inbounds the basketball in the backcourt. They spin out of it, get it over to Nelson, and a 10-second violation on Spring Arbor, and they were not conscious of how much time had expired when they tried to bring the ball up the floor initially. 5 seconds went off, and then another 5, and they are unable to get it across the timeline, and Dordt now has possession. So Dordt gets it on the turnover. Van Hollen with it on the right-hand side. Back to Schoenhoven. Left side to Caparis. Dordt leading by 6. They've led by as many as 9. Into the paint it goes. Van Hollen, kick-out pass on the wing. Now it's Beckman. Beckman crosses over. Beckman, 12-footer, good. Bailey Beckman with a 2-point bucket. She's got 8, and the defenders lead 28-20. Spring Arbor with the basketball. Every time they have needed a bucket, they have worked it into Alana Nelson. Spinning is Long. Long shot blocked away by Van Holland, and Van Holland with her second block shot tonight. And with 3:06 remaining in the half, Dordt leads 28-20. Spring Arbor will throw the ball in left side of the lane. Throwing it in is Onens. Onens to Nelson. Nelson to Fleetwood. Fleetwood to Tripp. Tripp guarded there by Beckman. Post, Nelson. Back to the basket, 12 feet out. And we've got a double dribble called on Nelson as she thought about trying to crab walk back into Schoenhoven and then wanted to pass it out, it appeared, and double dribbled with it, that moment of indecision. And now the Dordt defenders with an 8-point lead in the basketball, and Spring Arbor will show token pressure. We'll see how aggressive they are with it. Not very. Pass goes left side, Van Hollen. Back over to Beckman. Beckman right side, Sievers. Thought about the 3. Doesn't pull the trigger early in the shot clock. 17 now to shoot. Sievers picks up her dribble. Comes back left side. Drent with it at the top of the key. Rolls it inside for Schoenhoven. Double team. Kick out Sievers. Straight on 3. Bang, bang, bang. Macy Sievers with the 3. She's got 12, and the defenders extend the lead to 11, 31-20. Dordt's outscored Spring Arbor 14-6 in this period. Considering they have their leading scorer on the bench with 3 fouls, this has been a win thus far for the defenders. Right side it goes long. Now does Spring Arbor have an answer? Nelson picks up her dribble. She comes back right side long. Long back out front. Onens three, no good. Long rebound taken away by Beckman. Here comes Dordt in transition. Sievers with the basketball. Sievers all the way in against Tripp. Picks up her dribble. Kick out pass Beckman. Beckman steps in. Scoops it up with the right hand, and she is fouled on the play. And Bailey will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Well, if you had said before the game for Dordt supporters, you're going to have Carly Gustafson for all but 6. You're going to have her for 6 minutes in the first half, and she's not going to get a shot off. But you're going to be up double digits with 1:47 left to go in the half. Will you take that? And I think overwhelmingly the answer would be yes. Now, that would be comparable for Spring Arbor if they'd be going without Alana Nelson. Those are the comps there between the two teams. Nelson probably a little bit higher scoring average, but similar roles with their teams. And so far, Dordt's been able to answer, and they take a Baker's dozen lead right now, 33-20 with 1:44 left to go in the half. With it on the left-hand side, this is Tripp. Tripp out front. Thought about the three. Nielsen guarding her. That's Macy Nielsen, the senior from Sioux Falls. Alana Nelson, kick-out pass, comes back right side to Visman. Visman penetrating with the left hand. Shot no good, and the ball's tapped out of bounds. Last touched by Dordt. It will be Spring Arbor basketball. Well, neither team has used a timeout yet. They've both been the beneficiaries. They've utilized the media timeouts, so they haven't used one yet. Visman gets it in to Kaliza. Kaliza finds a lane to the hoop, and she lays it up with the left hand. That ends the 7-0 run by the defenders. Dordt leads 33-22. Nielsen three ball, left corner, good. Macy Nielsen with her first triple of the day, and the Dordt defenders lead 36-22. Spring Arbor basketball, 1 minute remaining in the half. Possession arrow is Dordt's as well, so this is a big sequence at the end of the half. Spring Arbor might want to take a relatively quick one here and maybe go 2 for 1, and they do. Tripp three, missed, no good. Long rebound, Kaliza, right place, right time. Here's Tripp into the paint. Tripp's pass through the lane, taken away by Sievers. Sievers on a jailbreak. Sievers lays it up with the left hand. Kaliza tries to chase her down. She's unable to. And the defenders lead 38-22. 34 seconds remaining. There is a 5-second difference, shot clock and game clock. Tripp will split the defense, lays it up with the left hand, good. She's got 6. And the defender lead is 38-24. Now the defenders will hold likely for the final shot with the shot clock off. Dordt leads 38-24. Looks like our graphics have frozen once again. It's 38-24. Sievers back out front and travels with it. Turnovers have been an issue for the defenders. They had 6 in the first quarter. They have 10 for the ball game now. Beg your pardon, 9. So they've kept it in check here in the second period. And now the defenders with a foul to give. 7.1 seconds remaining. They'll pressure the inbounds play. They get the ball inbounded to Visman. Visman rolls it back over to Tripp. Tripp up the sideline. Tripp puts up the desperation shot. In and out, no good. And at halftime, our score, Dordt 38, Spring Arbor 24. Let's take a 1 minute break. A 1 minute break on the Dordt Media Network and on our radio broadcast, KIHK. And we'll be back with a recap of the first half, along with a look at the highlights right after this 1 minute timeout.
We understand how complex the financial landscape can be to navigate. Our goal is to free up your hands so that you can focus on what is most important in life.
Thanks to Prairie Life Chiropractic, combining skill and expertise that spans the entire chiropractic, acupuncture, and physical health spectrum. They want you to move better and live better.
And today's live stream broadcast brought to you by Verhoof Automotive. Verhoof Automotive in Sioux Center is your local Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevrolet, and Buick dealer. Verhoof Automotive, worth the drive from anywhere.
Welcome back to the DeWitt Gym, and those of you watching on our Dordt Media Network broadcast, you see the Dordt dance team performing, adding to the atmosphere of a nice full gym on a Saturday night in March, and this will be the final home game for the Dordt Defender women's basketball team. As from here on out, the winner of this one advances on to Sioux City and the NAIA National Championship, the third round or the round of 16. The winner will play Mayville State on Friday night of next week at 6 o'clock, while the loser sees a fine season come to an end. Right now, Dordt with a 14-point lead, 38-24. The Defenders trailed early in this one. They got down 8-5, tied it up at 10. It was tied again at 12 and 14, and took a 17-14 lead at the end of the first period. And we can go ahead and run those first half highlights if you want, the People's Bank highlights. Dordt extended the lead to 5 at 19-14 to start the second period. Got it up to 8. Got some three-pointers to go tonight, did the Defenders, after making just 2 last night. They're 5 of 11 so far. Alize Tripp, 3 field goals in the first half. She's got 6. She got the last field goal, actually, of the half. Faith Van Holland knocked down a couple of threes for the Defenders, and Tripp, after Dordt had built the lead up to 16, answers with a 2-point bucket to make it 38-22, and the Dordt Defenders get a run out near the end of the first half. Macy Nielsen got a steal and a bucket. She's got 14 first half points on 4 of 5 shooting, and the Defenders lead at halftime 38-24. But those of you who listen to me regularly, those on the watching for the national interest, you don't hear me very much. But I will oftentimes say one of the most valuable things I've ever heard is the least important score in all of sports is the halftime score. But the Dordt Defenders right now with a 38-24 advantage over Spring Arbor. Dordt led unofficially by Macy Sievers with 14 points. And for Spring Arbor, Alana Nelson has 7. We'll be back with a look at all the numbers from the first half of play. We'll also take a peek at what else is happening in the country. NAIA National Championship, second round, day number 2, 16 women's game, 16 men's game playing out. We'll take a look at those scores right after this 3-minute timeout. You're listening to Dordt Basketball on KIHK and watching the NAIA National Championship second round on the Dordt Media Network.
Hello, Dordt University sports fans. Hope you're enjoying the game, whether you're a family or friend of a player or coach, or a fan of the university. Now, these players and coaches have put in hours and hours of practice, and it shows. But there's one more thing that every coach makes sure the team has: a game plan. And if these players and coaches are willing to put this much effort into a game, how much more important is a game plan for your financial life? Now, the financial world continually becomes more complicated, and we keep ourselves plenty busy. But if you don't have either the time or the desire to spend hours upon hours learning and keeping up with the changing rules of the game in the financial world, and then figuring out how that applies specifically to your financial life, you don't have to do it alone. For over 40 years, Money Concepts, the planning firm here in Sioux Center, has been helping households to build their financial game plan upon all the things in life more important than finances. Because there's things in life more important than money, and none of them are things. I'm Tom DeYoung, financial planner and president of Money Concepts, the planning firm. Check us out on the web or social media, or schedule an intro meeting to see how a financial game plan might benefit you. We'll help you build your finances on all the things in life more important than finances, while being a good steward of the resources God has entrusted to your care. And check out our Money Concepts Radio podcast at moneyconceptsradio.com or on your favorite podcast app, where we dive into the relevant financial planning topics to bring clarity to the often confusing, ever-changing rules of the game in the financial world. Enjoy the rest of the game, and remember to spend your most valuable resources, your time and your attention, on the things in life that matter more than money. And go Defenders!
Play golf and support Defender Athletics by joining the Defender Nation Golf League this summer. The Defender Nation Golf League is an 8-week remote league that you can play in from anywhere in the country. Compete from your home course against other alumni and Dordt supporters for a $3,000 vacation package and other weekly prizes. Registration is due by May 27th and league play begins the week of June 3rd through the 9th. Scan the QR code or go to godort.com for more information and to register. Here are the numbers for first half tonight. Dordt 11 of 24 from the floor, 46%. 5 of 11 on threes, 46%. 11 of 12 on free throws, 92%. Spring Arbor 10 of 33 from the floor, 30%. 0 of 9 on threes, 4 for 5 on free throws for 80%. Dordt with an 18-17 rebounding edge. Turnovers, Dordt with 9. And Spring Arbor with 8. Dordt had a bunch early and settled down since. The defenders led by Macy Sievers, 14 points. Bailey Beckman has 10 on 4 of 8 shooting. 6 for Faith Van Hollen, 3 for Macy Nielsen, 2 for Janie Schoenhoven, 3 points for Taylor Drent, for Dordt's total of 38. For Spring Arbor, 7 points for Alana Nelson, 6 for Alize Tripp. 2 each for Fleetwood, Long, and Kaliza. 2 for Semeska and 3 for Onens. Rebounds, Nelson has 5, Kaliza has 4. That's for Spring Arbor. For the defenders from Dordt, Eliana Caparis with 3 rebounds. Macy Sievers also with 3 rebounds. She's got 2 assists and 2 steals as well. Dordt leads 38-24. Let's take another 2-minute break. And we'll be back with a look at the scores from across the NAIA National Championship Tournament bracket right after this 2-minute timeout.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University. Thanks for watching. Well, scores are coming in as I speak, and some games
still in progress along with this one. The women's side of the bracket advancing on to Sioux City. Cumberland's a winner over Bryan 86-65. GPAC member Briar Cliff defeats Vanguard 69-68. Indiana Wesleyan ends Northwestern season 84-42. Mayville State an 86-65 winner over LSU Shreveport. Mayville State awaits the winner of this contest. Concordia defeats Wayland Baptist 80-62. Indiana Tech a 52-43 winner over John Brown, so they end John Brown's magical season. Loyola defeats Georgetown 78-71. That's Georgetown of Kentucky. And it was Campbellsville over William Carey 82-73. Yet to be decided. Dakota Wesleyan is leading Clark. Clark is the defending NAIA national champion. That's being played in Dubuque as well. So Dakota Wesleyan right now on the road leading the defending national champion. Indiana South Bend trails Dakota State up in Madison, South Dakota. Reinhardt and Providence play later today. Menlo and Southern Oregon battle. Jamestown is playing Lewis Clark State. Oregon Tech is also playing Carroll in women's basketball. Men's basketball on their way to Kansas City in the Municipal Auditorium. Morningside defeats Georgetown 61-59. I believe that's year number 2 in a row for the Mustangs. Madonna, the team that knocked off Dordt last night, defeated Shawnee State in Livonia, Michigan today 81-78. Freed Hardman back to the NAIA National Championship final site for the second year in a row. They defeat Point Park 84-67. Grace, they're a handful. They defeat Union 106-61. Indiana Wesleyan 92-81, a winner in men's basketball. Cumberland's over Florida College 80-69. The Masters 122. St. Thomas 91 in a wild one. And underway currently Oregon Tech at Northwestern. And Cornerstone's playing College of Idaho. You've got Concordia also playing in men's basketball. They were trailing. Evangel plays Baker. Mid-America Christian plays Oklahoma Wesleyan. LSU Shreveport is playing Concordia, and LSU Shreveport was up in that one. Ave Maria and Langston play. Saw their women's team here in Sioux Center last night. Central Baptist and Bethel are playing in men's basketball. Lewis Clark State, Montana Tech, the Ore Diggers caught the end of that one last night when we were wrapping up work. And Huntington is playing Arizona Christian. Let's take another 1-minute break, and we'll be back with the second half of play from Sioux Center in 1 minute. Today's broadcast is brought to you by New Tech. They're your partner for success when purchasing equipment for construction, manufacturing, ag, and other industries. Don't miss the opportunity to transform your business and redefine your productivity standards with New Tech. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Rental. Looking for top-notch rental equipment? Look no further than Rental in Sioux Center, Spencer, Storm Lake, and Sioux Falls. Rental, your regional equipment rental experts. Visit them online, rental.com, or call 712-722-3928. Today's broadcast brought to you by Snyder Insurance and Financial Group of Sioux Center, offering life, health, Medicare supplements, annuities, and more. Trusted service and exceptional products with you in mind since 1973.
This Dordt Media Network broadcast is brought to you by Sioux Concrete Construction. Rob Suen, owner, excelling in flat work, poured walls, decorative concrete projects, dedicated to providing customers with a good experience and quality workmanship. SiouxConcrete.com.
Dordt basketball to start the second half of play. Dordt leading 38-24. They've led by as many as 16. They lead by 14 at the moment. Pass goes right side Severs. Severs with it, looks down low, gets it to Gustafson, squares up, takes it into the lane, puts it up with the left hand, missed it, shot no good. And the rebound is cleared by Spring Arbor, and the Cougars bring it up the floor. With the basketball out front is Tripp. Tripp passes over to Kaliza. Kaliza to Long. Long picks up her dribble. Back to Nelson. Nelson with the basketball. Right side Tripp. Tripp, Kaliza. Kaliza looking down low. Kaliza into the paint. Puts it up. Shot no good, but a foul on the play called on Carly Gustafson, and Gustafson has just picked up her fourth personal. So Kaliza will go to the free throw line. Spring Arbor successfully attacking Carly Gustafson, and Gustafson, all of 35 seconds played here in the second half. This is one day after she scores a season-high 29, and Spring Arbor has been successful in getting her to draw fouls. They lead by, Dordt leads by 12 after the free throws made by Kaliza. Kaliza, a 38% free throw shooter, knocks both of those down though. And Janie Schoenhoven travels with it out front. Well, the defenders need to settle down a little bit. Spring Arbor, they're going to put some pressure on. You know that. You don't get to this point of the season with a 24-7 mark without coming back from deficits. Nelson will penetrate. Cut off there by Schoenhoven, and she spins into lane, and Nelson with a 2, and just like that, it's a 10-point ball game, 38-28. 3 on the other end, and Faith Van Hollen drills it. Faith Van Hollen with 9, and the defender lead is back to a baker's dozen, 41-28. Van Hollen puts Dordt up by 13. Answering is Long. Long with the 3, her first of the game, and the first 3 of the contest for Spring Arbor. Nielsen with it. Nielsen, Sievers that is. Sievers gives it up. Schoenhoven, shot no good. There for the rebound is Schoenhoven, and Schoenhoven is fouled from behind, it appears. They're going to call that one on Alana Nelson. That's number 2 on her. Janie Schoenhoven will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Both of her points from the free throw line so far tonight. First free throw up and through for Schoenhoven. She's got 3. And another free throw on the way. Trying to reestablish a 12-point lead, and that one's up and through as well. Schoenhoven is a 76% free throw shooter. She is 4 for 4 tonight. With it out front, Fleetwood. Fleetwood gives it up. Long, and Long is fouled on the play. Foul's going to go on the defenders and Faith Van Hollen. That's number 1 on her. Team foul number 2 on the defenders in this half. And the first free throw by Long is good. She's got 6. A second free throw on the way for Long with 8:18 left to go in the period. That one's off the mark, no good, and the defenders lead 43-32 with the basketball is Sievers. Sievers with it, guarded by Kaliza. Sievers beyond the three-point line, goes into the paint. Schoenhoven puts it up. Shot is good. Count the hoop, and she is fouled, and that is a tough guard for Alex Long. They're asking her to guard Janie Schoenhoven on that play, and Schoenhoven muscles it up and down, and Schoenhoven now with an opportunity at an old-fashioned three-point play. Dordt is led by as many as 16. They lead by 13 at the moment, and now 14, 46-32. With the basketball, Spring Arbor up the floor, Fleetwood. Fleetwood with a couple of points to her credit so far. They go over to Long. Long down to the baseline, cut off. Back to Fleetwood. Fleetwood, leaner, good. Fleetwood falling away from the basket, gets the leaning shot to go. Dordt leads 46-34. They go underneath to Schoenhoven, has it blocked from behind, and here comes Spring Arbor. Kaliza, right side. Fleetwood misses the three-point shot. Kaliza tries to save it in, and looked like Caparis might have gotten away with a shove on the rebound. As it is, the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Dordt basketball. They get it into Sievers. Sievers in the backcourt. Kaliza will guard her. Sievers brings it across the timeline. 17:20 left to go in the second half. With the basketball out front, Sievers down to the baseline, cut off. Caparis sizes up the free throw line jumper, no good, and the rebound is taken away by Spring Arbor. Spring Arbor with the basketball. Left side it goes Tripp. Tripp working against Nielsen. And Tripp will come back right side, Nelson. Nelson shot blocked by Schoenhoven, but a foul on the play called on Janie Schoenhoven. That's going to be number 2 on her. And Spring Arbor having some success getting to the free throw line. Nelson now with 9 points. And the Dordt lead is 46-34. So Spring Arbor has withstood the charge by the defenders that saw them go up by 16 and 18 points. They brought it back to 12 and 10 now. Now can they get it any closer than that? Alana Nelson to the free throw line, averaging 18.7 points per game. She scored 28 last night. First one is up and good. She's got 10. Another free throw on the way. And Nelson's second free throw. Trying to make it a 10-point ball game. And misses it. Rebound is tapped out. Drent comes away with it. Drent to Bleeker. Bleeker with it in the backcourt. Willow will bring it across the timeline. Dordt leading 46-35. Beckman with the basketball. Right side it goes. Drent. Drent shovels it back outside. Beckman. Beckman loses it out of bounds. Last touch by the defenders. It will be Spring Arbor basketball. Well, this one's going to take some work yet for the defenders. Spring Arbor neutralizing the momentum, and now they've got it. A three-pointer on the way, long, short, no good. Rebound taken away by Onens. Onens back to long, shot no good. And a foul called on the rebound against the defenders. They're going to call that on Caparis. Eliana Caparis whistled for the personal, her second, and that is team foul number 4 already on the defenders in this period. Pass comes in over the top, Spring Arbor. They go to Tripp. Tripp loses it. Batted away by Beckman for a moment. Driving in, kick out pass, Onens. Onens against Drent. Shot no good, but a foul on the play called on the Dordt defenders. That's going to go on Drent. So Taylor Drent picks up the personal. And Onens will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Onens shooting 2. She is 3 for 4 today. And that one off the mark, no good. Another one on the way. She is a 51% free throw shooter, so if you are a believer in the averages working out, she's about where she is for the season, and she makes 1 of 2. She is now 4 for 6 from the free throw line. Dordt leads 46-36. Defenders trying to reestablish order, but Spring Arbor trying to create the chaos. Dordt has led by as many as 18. It's a 10-point game right now. Bleeker, back it goes. Caparis into the corner. Nielsen, three-pointer, high arcer, good. Macy Nielsen with 6, and the defenders lead 49-36. Spring Arbor with the basketball. Pass goes left side. Outside it goes Nelson, down to the baseline, cut off by Caparis. Nelson throws it back to Onens, lost it, picked up by Bleeker. Bleeker with it in the backcourt. Bleeker up the floor to Beckman. Beckman with the basketball on the right-hand side. Beckman puts it up with the left hand, can't get it to go. Rebound taken away by Caparis. Count the hoop, and she is fouled. Eliana Caparis crashing the offensive glass, and the junior from Manhattan, Montana, with her first field goal. And now she'll go to the free throw line for a three-point play opportunity. And now Alana Nelson dealing with foul issues. She's picked up her 4th. I had her down for 3, but she's got 4 as I take a look at the official scorebook. So that is a big foul as well. Free throw by Caparis is up and good. So the old-fashioned three-point play, and the defenders lead it 52-36. Back-to-back three-point possessions by the defenders, extending the lead back to 16. With the basketball, Spring Arbor. Spring Arbor's basketball. This is Semeska. Semeska back to Onens. Onens with a left hand, layup good. She got around her player, and Dordt didn't want to commit a foul, it appeared. And Onens now with 8. Back the other way, Janie Schoenhoven with a quick 2. And the Dordt defenders swap baskets with Spring Arbor. Dordt leads 54-38. Tripp gets into the paint, and Elize Tripp makes it 54-40. Nielsen to Sievers. Sievers with it, 4:40 left to play, and we're going to have a travel violation called on Faith Van Holland. Faith Van Holland called for the travel. Dordt leading by 14. This is where we were at halftime. We're 5 minutes and 20 seconds deep into the third period. A media timeout. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 1 minute.
Today's broadcast brought to you by German Farmers Mutual, protecting the farm and home since 1981. Northwest Iowa's local insurance partner, online at germanfarmers.com. Today's broadcast is sponsored by Northside Body Shop. When you expect the very best in the repair of your vehicle, call Northside Body Shop Limited today, serving the Sioux Center area since 1955. 712-722-2313.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Rental. Get ready to power up your projects with equipment rentals from Rental. From heavy-duty machinery to the latest power tools, they've got the gear to make your project a success. Visit them online at rental.com or call 712-722-3928. Today's broadcast is brought to you by NewTek. At NewTek, they don't just sell equipment, they deliver performance, reliability, and innovation. Their team of experts is there to guide you every step of the way, ensuring you find the perfect equipment for your needs. Spring Arbor with the basketball. Dordt with a 14-point lead, 54-40. Let's see if the defenders go with pressure defense. They'll show it at least. With the basketball in the backcourt, Spring Arbor. This is Alize Tripp. Tripp throws it middle of the floor. It's taken away by Caparis. Caparis, right place, right time. Here come the defenders in transition. Sievers with it, still with the dribble, looking high post. Drent sets a screen for her. Pass it down low. Drent shot no good. Gets her own rebound back, and she is fouled on the play. And Sydney Onens gets caught with a hand in the cookie jar, and Taylor Drent will go to the free throw line. She's got 3 points. So 2 free throws on the way for Drent. Drent, 3 points, averaging 2.6 points per game. She and Eliana Caparis pressed into a little more extensive duty this evening, with Carly Gustafson dealing with foul issues. 1 of 2 players, 1 for each team with 4 fouls apiece so far. Drent, shot missed, no good. Rebound Caparis, kick out pass Sievers, 3, good. Macy Sievers with 17, and the defenders with their biggest lead of the ball game, matching their biggest lead at 58-40, and a foul called in the backcourt on the defenders. And Taylor Drent. Drent whistled for her second personal. They say she's a little aggressive on the trap. So Dordt leading by 18, 58-40 for Sievers, her first basket of the second half. She's got 17 points. And the Dordt defenders will check 4 new players into the game. Drent will stay on the floor. Schoenhoven, Van Holland, Bleeker, and Beckman all on the floor for the yellow-clad defenders. Spring Arbor shooting free throws. First one is up and good for Abby Fleetwood. Fleetwood with 4 points, now 5, and she's got another free throw coming. So then that ends the run of 4 points in a row by the defenders, and she makes both free throws. It's 58-42 defenders. Beckman with the basketball. She'll bring it up against Alex Long. 14 minutes remaining in regulation. Schoenhoven backing her way in, puts it up, shot no good, gets her own rebound back, shot no good, and now gets called for an over-the-back foul. A push called on Janie Schoenhoven on the rebound. And we'll shoot more free throws. Well, Spring Arbor has things going their way in that regard. They have gotten to the free throw line now here in the second half 10 times, and they've made 7 of them. Sydney Onens going to the free throw line to shoot 2 more. She is 1 for 2 in this half. Misses that one. She is 4 of 7 from the free throw line. Second free throw on the way is up, and that one is good. So she is now 5 of 7, and the defender lead is 58-43. So 3 unanswered by Spring Arbor. Goes back to Sievers. Sievers in the paint. Kick out pass Beckman. Beckman stops from 12. Left side good. Bailey Beckman with a dozen, right at her season average for the senior. She's scored over 1,800 points in her career. She's a 5th-year player, taking advantage of the COVID season. She's going to be attending graduate school next year. Down into the paint is Fleetwood. Back to Kaliza. Kaliza with a 2-point basket. She's got 6, and the defender lead is 60-45. Left side Sievers probing, and it's taken away. Now poked away from behind by Beckman. And here come the defenders with the basketball. Dordt with the basketball, Sievers. Sievers up the floor, has it at the top of the key. 22 seconds on the shot clock. They get it back over to Beckman. I think Spring Arbor wanted a shot clock extension. Instead, it got reset. They ruled Spring Arbor had possession. Pass goes into the corner, Sievers. 9 now to shoot. Sievers will put up the 3. Missed it, no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Spring Arbor. Knocking it out of Bailey Beckman's hands was Alex Long. And the Dordt lead is 60-45. Throwing the ball in, Dordt. They get it in to Drent on the elbow. Drent pivots, cut off. Back outside Van Hollen now to Sievers. Both teams in the bonus. Here's Sievers driving in with the left hand. Count the hoop, and she is fouled. For the defenders, Macy Sievers is a pretty good ace in the hole to have, especially if it's challenging for the opponent to keep up with her. She can get to the rim and pretty adept at finishing around the hoop, even though she's 5'8", and that's on a good day. Shot no good by Sievers. Dordt leads 62-45. Here comes Spring Arbor. Shot is up, blocked by Van Hollen, but they're going to whistle Faith for a foul. Well, a little bit of herky-jerky now with the pacing of this one. A lot of fouls called here in the second half. A total of 25 fouls whistled here in this contest. 8 of them in the third quarter on Dordt. 5 on Spring Arbor. First free throw up and good for Alex Long. Second one is in and out, no good. Long last night, 62-46, Dordt leading. Long last night really helped her team against Langston. Here's Sievers. She left the game very late, though, with a looked like a pretty painful cramp. And was curious how she would bounce back from that here this evening. She has knocked down 1 3. A few of her three-point shots have been short. They had to expend a lot of energy against Langston. Van Hollen with it. Van Hollen back into the corner, Sievers. 10 to shoot for the defenders. Back to Caparis. Caparis, free throw line jumper, good. Eliana Caparis with 5, all in the second half. And the defenders extend the lead back to 18, 64-46. Kaliza, reverse layup, good. Elena Kaliza with 8, 6 in the second half. Dordt leads 64-50. 64-48. Sievers with it. Sievers underneath Caparis. Caparis fouled on the play. She'll go to the free throw line. I believe that's going to go on Sydney Onens. And Onens has just picked up her 4th personal foul. Eliana Caparis will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. She's coming off a 6-point performance last night. Mentioned earlier, she and Taylor Drent pressed into more extensive duty here this evening because of foul trouble. Caparis has played 17 minutes tonight, Drent 13. I would dare to guess, first free throw by Caparis is good, that those are probably season highs for both of those players. First free throw by Caparis is good, 65-48. And the second one good as well for Caparis. 66-48, defenders by 18. 1:31 left to go in the third period. The winner advances on to Sioux City for the round of 16. Spring Arbor basketball out front, Fleetwood. Fleetwood gives it up to Kaliza. Kaliza on the elbow. Kaliza, this is Fleetwood. Fleetwood in the paint and a tie-up. It'll be Spring Arbor basketball with 1:14 remaining in the third period. So the defenders up by 18, and we have a timeout on the floor. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more from the DeWitt Gym in 30 seconds.
I chose Dordt because it has a Christian perspective. I also chose Dordt because I knew that it was a program that I could do on my own time. If someone was interested in doing the MPA program, I would say that it's worth your time to investigate. I'm active in my church, I'm very busy at work, I'm busy with my family, And in doing all that, I was able to do it. And I think that if I can, you can too.
Scanning the scoreboard. NAIA National Championship second round play. Looks like Dakota Wesleyan, they're in position to knock off Clark. 76-70 with 16 seconds remaining. Spring Arbor inbounding and a 5 seconds call on Spring Arbor out of the timeout. So the tie-up went to Spring Arbor. They called a timeout, and now they turn it over on the inbounds play. That's a rough sequence for the Cougars. Now they have to bounce back. They'll show pressure defense. Beckman with the basketball on the left-hand side. Kaliza forces the defenders to pick it up. This is Bleeker. Bleeker out front, Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Left side, Nielsen. 3 on the way. Macy missed it. No good. And the rebound controlled by Spring Arbor. Now up the sideline with it is Tripp. Tripp throws over the top for Kaliza. Kaliza right side, Visman. Visman missed it. No good. And the rebound tracked down by Caparis. Caparis with the basketball, Bleeker. Bleeker with it on the right-hand side. Hands it off to Beckman. 17-second difference, shot clock and game clock. It's Dordt's basketball and a held ball as well. And they've got an 18-point lead. They throw it down into the paint. Drent tries to the hook shot, and Drent's two-point bucket is good. Taylor Drent with 6, and the defenders lead 68-48. The defenders outscoring Spring Arbor in this period, 30-24. 11 seconds remaining. Spring Arbor goes into the paint. They get it back to Kaliza. Shot blocked. Rebound taken away by the defenders. Beckman checks the clock. 5 seconds. Across half court, 2. Into the paint with the left hand. Shot no good. And that's the end of the third period. Our score, Dordt 68, Spring Arbor 48. Dordt with a 20-point cushion with 10 minutes to go. Let's take a 1-minute break. You're listening to NAIA National Championship second round play and watching it on the Dordt Media Network. We'll be back with more in 1 minute. Play golf and support Defender Athletics by joining the Defender Nation Golf League this summer. The Defender Nation Golf League is an 8-week remote league that you can play in from anywhere in the country. Compete from your home course against other alumni and Dordt supporters for a $3,000 vacation package and other weekly prizes. Registration is due by May 27th and league play begins the week of June 3rd through the 9th. Scan the QR code or go to godort.com for more information and to register. Well, there will be a new champion in NAIA national play this season. Clark, the defending national champion, eliminated 78-72 by Dakota Wesleyan. The Dordt defenders leading by 20, 68-48, 10 minutes remaining as we get started with the fourth quarter. Pass goes out front, Drent with it at the top of the key, looking, comes back right side, Beckman. Beckman into the paint, goes to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven missed it, shot no good, chases down her own rebound off the deflection. Schoenhoven in the paint, and she is fouled on the play by Fleetwood. Fleetwood called for the personal, and Janie will go to the free throw line. She has 9 points, and she'll shoot 2 free throws. Foul number 2 called on Abby Fleetwood tonight. Caparis is in, Drent is out. And the defenders right now playing with house money, if you will. 20-point lead. Carly Gustafson, fifth-year player. We've talked about managing her minutes all season long. Now you're in a position of, let's save the legs for next week, potentially. I'd be shocked if we didn't see her again, but with a 22-point lead, that is obviously a development we will continue to watch. With it on the right-hand side, defenders by 22. Spring Arbor basketball. This is Nelson, Alana Nelson, playing with 4 personals as well. She goes right side. This is Long. Alex Long with it. Long passes it off. Shot by Nelson in the paint. No good. Rebound ripped down by Sievers. Sievers into the front court. Kick out pass. Bailey Backman, 3. In and out. No good. She thought that one was in. Looked like it felt good out of the hand, and she was backpedaling. Dordt leads 70-48. 9 minutes remaining. Spring Arbor with it. Shot no good in the paint. That was a missed shot by Semeska. Coming away with it is Long. Long with it. Long on the elbow. Long to Nelson. Nelson back to Long. Her 3. Missed no good. Rebound taken away by Beckman. 1:20 gone in the period. Dordt 8:40 away from returning to Sioux City for the 3rd year in a row. For the basketball is Beckman. Beckman on the wing. Beckman goes to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven, Van Hollen. Van Hollen, Sievers. Left wing 3. Off the mark. No good. And the rebound taken away by Spring Arbor. Cougars have it down 22. They throw it into Nelson. Nelson double team. She throws out of it. Fleetwood. Shot no good. And another rebound for Caparis. Caparis has done the work tonight. Lob pass underneath Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven, Nelson can't afford to play defense. She's playing with 4 fouls. And Schoenhoven with the easy 2. Dordt leads 72-48, so the defenders firmly in control now. Steal by the defenders and Beckman. Beckman with a run out. Layup with the right hand. Missed it. Too strong, no good. And the rebound taken away by Spring Arbor. Now a steal by Nielsen. Nielsen on the run. Nielsen takes it in with the left hand, and she is fouled on the play by Fleetwood. That's number 3 on her. Well, for Spring Arbor, this has been a difficult challenge. Last night, a spirited effort needed to knock off Langston. And then you come back into a gym where 90% of the crowd is for the opponent, and they're playing on their home floor, and they slept in their own beds last night, and everything was normal. And it is a difficult challenge. Dordt didn't play in someone's gym 2 years ago, but they went on the road to Wichita and came away with a win over Sterling. And that was very hard-earned, so we understand the challenges of going on the road like this against very good opponents. Macy Sievers with the 2 free throws. Sievers now with 21. That's a new season high for her. 76-48, the defenders have started the 4th quarter with an 8-0 run. 3-pointer, top of the key, bank shot, good. The bank is open after hours for Natalie Schellberg. That ends the Dordt run. Dordt leads 74-51. So 74-51, defenders by 23. Throw it into Gustafson. Carly back into the game. She's been shut out so far. Macy Nielsen, she's only played 7 minutes as well. Gives it to Bleeker. Bleeker to Sievers. Sievers with it. Step back, nothing there. Gustafson. Gustafson with the left hand, and she is fouled on the play. Foul's going to go on Schellberg. That's number 1 on her. And Carly Gustafson, who played admirably last night, played a few more minutes than hoped, scored 29 points. Tonight, she's been held scoreless. Normally, Dordt fans would probably say, ooh, that is not a good recipe, and probably isn't. But they've managed a 23-point advantage with Carly Gustafson playing 8 minutes. First free throw up and good for Gustafson, so she's in the scorebook. Second free throw up and good as well. The other big difference for the defenders tonight, 8 of 18 from the three-point line. Last night, I believe they were 2 for 13, something like that. Spring Arbor basketball, Dordt leading 76-51. This one has got extended. Long underneath against Beckman, and a foul called on the play against Bailey Beckman, trying to hold her ground, and the foul gets called on number 13 for the defenders. Beckman with 12 points, and to the free throw line will be Alex Long. Long with 6 points, all of them in the first half. Beg your pardon, looking at the wrong line. That was Alize Tripp who had all of her points in the first half. Long had a 3 early in this half and a free throw. She now has 9 points. And the defenders with the basketball in the backcourt leading 76-53. Gustafson, right-hand side it goes. This is Nielsen. Into the paint, Gustafson. Gustafson with it. Carly hands it back over to Nielsen. Nielsen with the basketball. Nielsen. This is Beckman, beg your pardon. Beckman with it. Left-hand side, pull up. 15-footer, no good. And the rebound is controlled by Spring Arbor. 76-53. Left-hand side, Long puts it up, and a foul on the play called on Bailey Beckman, and Beckman might have been a little too close on that one. Comes up holding that top lip. Checked it for blood. Don't know if if it drew blood or not. She will walk the other way. Shooting free throws will be Alex Long. She'll shoot 2 more. She's got 9 points. Alana Nelson has 10 to lead Spring Arbor. Dordt leading 76-53. First free throw is up and good. 5 of 5 is Alex Long. She's a 79% free throw shooter, and that one leaves it short, but it rolls in. 76-55, defenders by 21. They've led by as many as 26. Sievers gets it across half court to Van Holland. Van Holland with it on the left-hand side. Gustafson underneath, intended for Schoenhoven, now saved in, and Macy Sievers will set the offense. 13 to shoot. Left side pass, Van Holland. Van Holland to Gustafson. Gustafson backdoor cut for Sievers. 5 to shoot. Trying to pass it in to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven got tied up in traffic. St. Ambrose with the basketball. This is Lexi Linder. Left side pass, 3, banked in again. The second bank of the night for Natalie Schellberg from long range. And the defender lead is 18, 76-58. Macy Sievers is tripped up just beyond midcourt. Emma Semeska whistled for the personal. That's team foul number 4 on Spring Arbor in this period. So Dordt stretched the lead out to 26. Spring Arbor has brought it back to within 18. They'll try to reel the defenders in. Dordt will probably start to utilize the clock here. See if they can shorten up the game. Pass goes underneath Gustafson. Gustafson layup good. Carly Gustafson with 4. And the defender lead is 78-58. 78-58 our score. Schellberg, right-hand side. Goes to Long. Long shot, no good. Right for the rebound. Long comes out with it. Double team, deflected off of the backboard, and there is Semeska. Semeska with 4. And the Dordt lead is 78-60. Beckman with the basketball, throws it back to Sievers. Sievers takes it across just in front of the 10-second call. 4.5 left to go in the game. Dordt maintaining an 18-point lead. They go to Gustafson. Gustafson, bounce pass underneath to Schoenhoven. Layup good. Jeannie Schoenhoven with another 2. Schoenhoven with 15. And the defenders lead 80-60. Semeska working against Schoenhoven. Dribbles all the way through the paint. Now the ball's on the floor. Picked up by Gustafson. Ball's down on the floor. It's tapped out, and it's last touched by Spring Arbor. It'll be Dordt basketball with 4:01 remaining. Well, I don't think the outcome is any longer in doubt. We do have our final media timeout to take care of with 4:01 remaining. Dordt leads 80-60. And timeout on the floor. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more from the DeWitt Gym in 1 minute.
When you add up all the Wi-Fi connected devices in your home these days, you'll be surprised at how many there are and how much bandwidth they're using. Do the math. It just may add up to needing faster Wi-Fi. Premier Communications has you covered with reliable internet speeds up to 1 gig. Keep everything connected with Premier Communications. Visit us online at mypremieronline.com or call at 1-800-741-8351. Premier Communications. Looking ahead.
Welcome to Sioux Center, Iowa. Life in the center of everything. Where we connect with friends, coworkers, family, and the great outdoors. Knowing that in Sioux Center, you're never far from making the next great memory. And we grow great companies that make cutting-edge breakthroughs to make life better here and around the world. And when it's time to play, we keep friendship, family, and a bright future at the center of everything.
(80-60). The Dordt defenders with a 20-point lead and 4:01 remaining. That's all that stands between Dordt and a return trip to Sioux City for the NAIA National Championship final site. Some of the excitement taken out of this one in the second period as Dordt built a double-digit lead. And the defenders underneath now it goes to Schoenhoven, and Schoenhoven is held on the play. And Janey will go to the free throw line. And that goes on Semeska. So Semeska called for the personal, and Janey Schoenhoven will go to the free throw line for 2 more. Carly Gustafson checks out of the ball game, along with Macy Nielsen. I don't know if this will be a curtain call for the defenders or not. This will be the last time Beckman, Gustafson, Van Holland, and Nielsen play in front of the DeWitt Gym crowd. Schoenhoven makes both free throws. Janey makes it 82-60. Schoenhoven now with 17. With the basketball, Onens. Onens with the right hand spins into the paint and gets the 2-point bucket. She's got 9. And the defender lead is 82-62. Across the timeline, Beckman, right hand side, Van Holland. Van Holland with the basketball, back it goes to Beckman. 3:25 and counting, ball game. Dordt leading 82-62. They'll use clock here. Out front with it is Sievers, trying to shorten up the game and reduce the number of possessions. Into the paint is Schoenhoven, and she is fouled on the play by Schellberg. More free throws on the way for Janey. Schoenhoven, a junior, she surpassed 1,000 points for her career last night. She has done it without the big 30-point explosion or anything like that over the course of her career, but you can count on her for anywhere between 8 and 18, it seems like, almost every night. And she's always going to be flirting with that double-double as she hits the glass pretty hard. Been a pretty consistent performer for the defenders since she arrived. She's been a part of 3 NAIA National Championship field qualifying teams. Schoenhoven now with 19. Her season high, by the way, 24. Spring Arbor basketball driving in with the right hand, missing it is Semeska. Dordt with the basketball, 3 minutes remaining. Into the front court with the basketball is Sievers. Macy Sievers with it, under 3 to go. Macy with it on the left-hand side, the sophomore point guard from Storm Lake, prepped at Newell Fonda High School. She'll begin to back her way in. 10 seconds remaining. Comes back over to Beckman. Beckman's going to be called for steps. Well, since that first quarter when the Dordt defenders felt like they couldn't get out of their own way, they had 6 turnovers early. Eliana Caparis will check out of the ball game. And with 2:40 left, Dordt will send Carly Gustafson back into the game. Don't quite have the 4 seniors on the floor. We are missing Macy Nielsen. Got 3 out of the 4. Shot on the way from the wing. Rebound, and we've got a foul on the play called on Carly Gustafson, and Carly's going to foul out on the play. And Carly Gustafson will check out of the ball game. As she fouls out, she gets a bear hug from Bill Harmson, and to try to pinpoint a player that has helped change the course of Dordt defender basketball, Carly Gustafson, you would have to at least write a chapter about her and the fact that she chose to come to Dordt University. Her older sister had an outstanding All-American career at Northwestern, and Carly decided to come to Dordt University instead, and she came onto a team that had the likes of Erica Feenstra. You had Ashton Verbeek in that mix as well. Ashton was transferring from the University of Nebraska, and Carly came in and fit right in, and she leaves as the Whenever this season ends, she will leave as the career scoring leader and rebounding leader. She is the only member of the 1,000 club, 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds for women's basketball. That timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Also, I'll tell you who else has made the possible for the Dordt University Defenders to host this NAIA National Championship. Missed shot, rebound cleared by the Defenders. Coming away with the basketball is Macy Sievers. This tournament, we've had some great corporate sponsorship, including Four Brothers Bar and Grill, Econo Lodge, and Holiday Inn Express and Suites, all of Sioux Center. So a thank you to them for making it possible for the Defenders to host a couple of NAIA National Championship games. Three-pointer, Bailey Beckman. Beckman with the triple. She's got 15. And the Defenders extend the lead to 87-62. 87-62 our score. 1:25 remaining. I would imagine on the next dead ball or so, we'll probably see some reserves come in, and you'll see the curtain call for some of our seniors for Dordt University. Shot no good. Rebound taken away on the weak side by Drent. Here come the Defenders with 1:18 remaining. Dordt leading 87-62. This one well in hand. The Defenders with a date against Mayville State next Friday evening at 6 o'clock in Sioux City. Dordt dribbling out the shot clock. 12 seconds left. Now 10. With the basketball, Sievers back over to Drent. Drent driving in with the left hand. Left it short, no good. And the rebound taken away by Spring Arbor. Spring Arbor with the basketball. And we have a timeout on the floor. Timeout charged to Spring Arbor. And we will have substitutes checking in for the Defenders. And there's your curtain call for the seniors. Taylor Drent, also the sophomore, played a pivotal role this evening. So checking into the ball game, we'll get those reserves in for you in just a moment for Dordt. The Dordt Defenders with an 87-62 lead. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Well, the Defenders closing out the DeWitt Gym as well as you can. They went 16-0 this year at the DeWitt. Their two losses thus far at South Dakota State against an against an NCAA Division I team that's going to be playing next weekend in the national tournament. They'll make that bracket, and a loss to the rival Northwestern on the last game of the regular season. But the Defenders have found their way back to Sioux City for a third consecutive year. And for Spring Arbor, what a year it has been. Their first trip to the NAIA National Championship field since 1999. They win a first-round game, and the second round, just not enough left in the tank on the road. They're going to fall by 20-plus in all likelihood. Shot is up off the glass, good. Sydney Onens with the two, and she's fouled on the play. That foul is going to get charged against the Defenders. And Liv Harrison called for that personal foul. So Ellie Lem's in the ball game for the Defenders, Brooke Smith. You also have Bailey Sievers, Kaylee Davis, and who's the fifth one? Mackenzie Goodwin. Dordt with the basketball in the backcourt. Lems comes back into the front court. Lems stops, goes right side. Bailey Sievers back over to Kaylee Davis. Davis with it out front on the left elbow. She gives it up left side over to Brooke Smith. Smith with it at the top of the key. Right side it goes Davis. Davis underneath, intended for Lems. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Spring Arbor basketball with 14.1 seconds remaining. Well, it's over. It's just not done yet. 14 seconds. Here comes Spring Arbor. Spring Arbor will end their year 24-8. And the shot in the paint, no good. But a foul on the play against the Defenders. It's going to go on Mackenzie Goodwin. 87-65 our score. First free throw on the way for Onens, no good. And another free throw on the way. 87-65, Dordt leading, 6.2 seconds remaining. Onens misses the free throw. Ball's tapped out of bounds. Last touched by Dordt. It'll be Spring Arbor basketball. Coming up, we'll have the Wireless World post-game show. My guess is we won't have Coach Harmson for a post-game tonight. Elena Kaliza with a 2-point bucket. She's got 10. And that's your final. Dordt 87, Spring Arbor 67. Spring Arbor ends their year 24-8, while the Dordt Defenders advance on to the NAIA National Championship final site. They'll play next Friday night at 6 o'clock against Mayville State. They'll take a 31-2 record into that contest against the Comets from Mayville State. 87-67 our final. Let's take a 2-minute break. We'll be back with more from the DeWitt Gym in 2 minutes. Dordt Media Network, feel free to stay with it and catch the video of the trophy presentation and the net cutting down and all of that. I believe we've got all of our sponsors covered there, so feel free to stay with us on the Dordt Media Network. KIHK, let's take a 2-minute break. Well, we're back at the DeWitt Gym where the Dordt Defenders have earned a spot in the NAIA National Championship final site in Sioux City for the third year in a row as they get the victory tonight over Spring Arbor, 87-67. They improved to 31-2. And let's go ahead and run the highlights while we describe how we arrived at this point. Dordt had a 17-14 lead at the end of the first quarter after three ties at 10, 12, and 14. In the second period, Dordt extended the lead to double digits, 38-24. Janie Schoenhoven began to be effective in the second half. She had 2 points in the first half, and she closes with 21. Spring Arbor, in the end, just not enough depth to keep up with the defenders. Bailey Beckman, she ended the ball game with 15 points. She also knocked down a three. She hit some mid-range jumpers. Spring Arbor, Natalie Shellberg came off of the bench, and she knocked down a couple of threes. But it was not enough as Spring Arbor never able to make a serious charge at the defenders. Carly Gustafson bothered by foul trouble all night long, but she ends up with 4 points. And the defenders win it by a final score of 87-67. Here are your final numbers, and we will not have the coach after this one. They're busy cutting nets down and all that kind of fun stuff. The Dordt defenders 25 of 54 from the floor, 46%, 9 of 19 on threes, 47%, 28 of 31 from the free throw line, 90%. Spring Arbor tonight, 23 of 61 shooting, 38%, 3 of 19 from the arc, 15.8%. They converted 18 of 26 free throws for a shade under 70%. Dordt had a 36-35 rebounding edge. Turnovers, Dordt had 16, 6 of them in the first period. And Spring Arbor ended with 15 turnovers this evening. The defenders were led tonight by Macy Sievers with 21 points on 6 of 9 shooting. She was 3 of 5 from the arc. Janie Schoenhoven closes with 19 points. She went 11 of 11 from the free throw line. Bailey Backman, 15 points in her last game here at the DeWitt Gym. She also had 4 rebounds and 3 steals. She was 1 of 2 from the arc. Carly Gustafson in her last game, bothered by foul trouble, ended up playing 12 total minutes, 4 points and a couple of rebounds and a couple of assists. Faith Van Hollen, 3 threes, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. She closes with 9 points. 6 points for Macy Nielsen, 2 of 4 for the senior. Eliana Capera, 7 points in 21 minutes of play. Taylor Drent, 6 points in 18 minutes of play. Those two players combined, they got stretched tonight. 13 points. They combined for 13 points and 11 rebounds and 3 assists in relief of Carly Gustafson, who was dealing with foul trouble all night. Macy Sievers, 5 rebounds and 8 assists to go with 3 steals this evening. Bailey Backman, 4 rebounds and 3 assists, 3 steals that is. Janie Schoenhoven, 7 rebounds. And Eliana Caparis, 7 rebounds as well. For Spring Arbor, balanced scoring. They were led by Onens with 12 points off of the bench. She was 6 of 11 from the free throw line. 11 points for Long, 10 each for Kalisa and Nelson, 8 for Tripp, and 6 for Fleetwood. Nelson ends up with 8 rebounds, 6 for Kalisa. Nelson limited to 4 of 11 shooting. She came into the ball game averaging 18 points per game. She closes with 10. That's your final. Dordt defeats Spring Arbor 87-67. I believe that's just about going to do it. Our post-game show brought to you by Wireless World, your Verizon authorized retailer with 7 locations in Northwest Iowa. Visit them at wirelessworld.com. And we also want to remind you that our national championship sponsors included Four Brothers Bar and Grill of Sioux Center, Econo Lodge, and Holiday Inn Express and Suites, all of Sioux Center. And a special thank you to American State Bank and American Investment and Trust for paying for the admission for the Dordt students here this evening and last night. One more look through the scores from across the nation in NAIA basketball. Final scores. It was in women's play. As we try to get the most up-to-date list we can, Cumberland's defeats Bryan 86-65. Indiana Wesleyan over Northwestern 84-42. Campbellsville over William Carey 82-73. Briarcliff over Vanguard 69-68. Bayville State an 86-65 winner over LSU Shreveport. Concordia over Wayland Baptist 80-62. It was Indiana Tech over John Brown 52-43. Marion defeats Stephens 63-49. Loyola over Georgetown 79-74. Dakota Wesleyan defeats the defending national champion Clark 78-72. Dakota State all over Indiana South Bend 85-47. Dordt over Spring Arbor in the game you listened to and watched 87-67. Providence leads Reinhardt late by 6, 75-69, under a minute to go there. Menlo defeats Southern Oregon 62-58. Jamestown leads Lewis Clark State late in the first quarter 16-14. Oregon Tech will play Carroll late tonight. Men's basketball, the scoreboard. Morningside over Georgetown 61-59. Madonna over Shawnee State 81-78. Freed Hardman over Point Park 84-67. Grace a winner over Union 106-61. It was Indiana Wesleyan over Tennessee Southern 92-81. Cumberland's over Florida College 80-69. The Masters over St. Thomas 122-90. Evangel over Baker 90-68. LSU Shreveport ends Concordia of Nebraska season 91-67. Northwestern comes from behind to defeat Oregon Tech 72-71. Langston over Ave Maria, 91-61. Oklahoma Wesleyan over Mid-America Christian, 75-58 with 1:44 left to go in the second half. It's Central Baptist defeating Bethel of Indiana, 79-76. Lewis Clark State leads Montana Tech, 46-45. Huntington and Arizona Christian just underway. Cornerstone and College of Idaho, they have yet to begin the way it looks. So that is going to do it for our broadcast from the DeWitt Gym on the campus of Dordt University in Sioux Center, Iowa. We'll be back on the air on KIHK next Friday night, 6 o'clock start time from Sioux City. Dordt taking on Mayville State in the round of 16. A thank you to the Dordt Media Network crew. Also a thank you to Nathan Brook back at the Sioux County Radio Studios for keeping things pointed in the right direction. That is going to do it for our broadcast. For all those folks, I'm Mike Biker. Have a good evening.